Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Coach Tom and welcome to my channel, Creating Your New Reality. I'm a self-actualization coach. What that means is that I help people cultivate, develop, and then express their true authentic selves in the areas of their career, their personal development, and their relationships. Are you ready? Let's go. Now, you know what day it is. It is Monday. And you know what we do on Mondays? We make Monday our bitch. Now, today, I've got a really cool message for you that I think it occurred to me. I was going back through some of my earlier heavy metal albums from back in the day, and I don't know how many Pantera fans I have on this on my channel here, but there was one album title of theirs I always thought was really cool, and it was Far Beyond Driven. I just like that, okay? And it got me to thinking about, well, what are we generally driven by? Okay, and is there a better way to be than being driven? Okay, in terms of accomplishing our goals, hitting it hard, making Monday our bitch, all these cool things. You know, I wanted to explore this. So, you know, I get inspiration, I think, from the damnedest places. So again, I'm thinking about the concept of being driven and what that means. Now, what are most of us driven by? Okay, a lot of us are driven by a lot of different things. We could be driven by a fear of loss. Okay, if I don't get up and go to work every day, I won't have any money and I can't pay my bills. Okay, we could be driven by a fear of being alone. So we reach out to everybody on dating sites because we're terrified of being alone. And if they don't respond back to us, well, we kind of feel like we want to jump off a bridge. We're driven by fear. We're driven by loneliness. We're driven by maybe a lust, a desire. We can be driven by things that hold us back. We can be driven by things that push us forward, okay? We can be driven by greed, which makes us do maybe some underhanded things in the business world to get money. We could be driven by an anger. We could be driven by a need to be right. We can be driven by maybe we're a closet narcissist, okay? And we're driven to make people do our bidding, whatever it is. So many unhealthy things that we can be driven by. We're driven by maybe our past, to rectify a past mistake. I know people that made one huge colossal fuck up in their life, and they're driven by a need to make it up to the people that they hurt, and maybe a drive to show the world that they really are a good person and not a colossal fuck up. Okay, all these things can really hurt us. So we need to sit and think that we're a very activity-based people, okay? We get up and we do things. We go a million miles an hour. It's all go, 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 go. We're driven by a need to accumulate so many things. And you got to ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing? Okay, that's what I want you to do. Find a mirrored surface, something with a reflection, and ask yourself, what in the fuck am I doing? Okay, you need to figure out what drives you and why you're being driven. And you'll find sometimes, I think, that not only can you be driven by some unhealthy things, but also some unnecessary things, okay? Because you have to understand that you create your own reality, all right? So what you're doing by being driven by things is you're giving life. You're giving life to these unhealthy things that are pushing you along, all right? And before you know it, you're going down that raging river in the rapids in a little dinghy or whatever, and you got no control. You think you have a paddle or oars, but you don't, because, you know, generally while you're rushing around doing this, doing that, you're self-medicating. You're self-medicating with negative thoughts. Maybe you're self-medicating with alcohol or other illicit substances, things that numb us. Maybe it's medication. I don't know what the hell it could be, but we think we're very often in control, but we're not. We're just being pushed. We're being pushed, pulled, dragged, and the puppet master is pulling the strings. We have all these things that we're just driven by and pushed, and your life isn't yours. You know, I challenge you, really think about how much of when you're going through your day, do you even have your own mind? Okay, are you in possession of your mind? Are you in control of your mind? I know every day I talk about in these videos to have control over your emotions and your thoughts and to pay attention to these things. But And on an aggregate level, do you even have possession of your own mind? Are you thinking your own thoughts? When you're ranting and raving in your head at the guy on the radio or somebody you don't agree with, are you thinking your own thoughts, or are you thinking what Sean Hannity told you to say, or something you heard on NPR, or your leftist buddy on Facebook that doesn't really have a job but just talks all day? Where's it coming from? Okay. Do you have your own opinions? Let's think about that for a minute. So what I want you to really think of now is, here's a concept. Okay. Instead of being driven by something, why don't you become the driver? All right. Become the driver. You are in control. You are in command. This life is yours. Reality is yours for the making. Okay. So what I want you to think about is, instead of being driven by past trauma, I want you to revise and say, you know what? I learned what I was supposed to from this thing. I'm learning lessons. So, but it's all for my good. Okay. What I've been through is from my good. So I'm going to go forward in my day knowing that. All right. So you take away the trauma that maybe came with you from bad, excuse me, from bad parenting. Okay, that's one thing you can do. Think about, instead of I have to have money to pay my bills, say, you know what? I'm an endless resource. Because I'm an endless resource, money flows to me. And my customers love me. They throw money at me. Business is easy for me. Work is easy for me. I've got raises coming my way. I've got new opportunities coming my way. Then you can go forward in your day and operate from a base of consistency and positivity, if not happiness. Okay. If you think about good things will happen to you. And when you realize that good things are on the way, you don't have a choice but to bob along and sing a song, and things get better. Okay. So what you want to do is be the driver. I'm in control. I control my thoughts. All right. If somebody doesn't want to go out and have beers with me, that I really like, she blows me off or whatever, do I care? No, because I'm a great guy. I know I'm a catch. The right one will surface eventually. And I don't care. I have so many other things to worry about and be happy about, and to just go out and go do, that it doesn't really matter. I don't have to take that so personally. Okay. So I'm not driven by a loneliness. I'm not driven by a fear of never having another relationship. I'm not driven by a fear of being rejected. I'm not driven by a fear of being unwanted. Okay. I'm not driven by those negative states that I would always find myself in, because I have found new states. Okay. That's going to be the subject of some different videos of how to change your state when you discover you're in one. It's kind of a deeper thought, but I wanted to introduce to you the concept today of being the driver. Okay. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? What good things can you think about yourself? What good assumptions can you make about yourself? Hang on to those, write them down, and every time the world starts pissing you off, refer back to your good assumptions, your good beliefs, and the things that you want to do, and think about that. Okay. That is what should drive you. Okay. Go to work every day so you can be a resource for your family, and you can have more and go do fun things. Okay. Instead of collapsing in front of the TV set when you get home, interact with your family, interact with your kids, go do something, go for a walk around the block, ignore the curfew and go out and drive around or something. I don't care, but do something other than sit in your own shit. Okay. Because that's usually what being driven does to us. It drives us into an isolation. It drives us into a constant state of fear. It drives us into a constant state of anger. Okay. You can't afford that. That's a luxury that you cannot afford. There's a great book out there called You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. The author escapes me, but it was a good book. I read it many years ago, and that's very true. It's a luxury to be able to sit and brood, okay? Because our ancestors were being chased around by hungry bears and other tribes that wanted to rip their heads off and take their land and all that. You don't have that problem, okay? You can sit and comatose yourself in front of Netflix because you don't think you can do anything else. All right. When we do these things, we're the constant escapism that we do with video games and Netflix, that all comes from a state of being driven. You're driven by, I was ripped off. I don't have what I want. I'm miserable. You're driven by what you thought you should have. Okay. So knock that off. Just stop. Okay. I want you to do a complete 180, a complete pivot. All right. That's a shout out to my Abraham Hicks fans out there. I want you to pivot. All right. And become the driver. Recognize you are the controller. You are the operant power. You create everything. So you start by creating positive thoughts, positive mindsets, positive states. You operate from those, okay? And then it's like magic. What gets reflected back to you is that positivity that you put out, it comes back, all right? Right now, the world out there feels like a mess because you're paying too much attention to what's going on out in the world, okay? Think about what's going on in between your ears. That's where everything starts. So I want you to be driven by the good things. Be driven by you. Be driven by what you decide. Be driven by your dreams, okay? Don't be driven by bullshit, okay? But be the driver. Put yourself and put your positivity, your mindset, put that first and foremost. Don't look back and keep your foot on the gas, all right? I love you guys. Happy Monday. Go get it. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.